Hello, my name is Zhatelier and welcome back for another episode of Valhalla Vanguard in Aurora. And in previous episode we did indeed destroy another ship over there. We did lose one fighter, but I think that's a fair trade for a 25,000 ton ship. But anyway, we started heading off towards the planet, and we did actually intercept one of their survey vessels while we were flying towards the planet. We have now eyes on the EM signature, which actually turns out that our allies have about 1/3 higher signature than the enemies, which might be something to do with the fact that we've been kind of helping, or at least not destroying our ally ship or allied shipping or anything like that. We're still pretty far away from the actual planet though, so we will need to spend some time. But considering they have been using a lot of missiles, it is entirely possible that they have planetary defense centers with missile launchers, so we might be hailed with a lot of missiles. Luckily we do have a lot of Athenians on this fleet. We have actually, well, we can see it here better. So we've got 6 Athenians and 6 Athenian Mark II, so that's a lot of firepower altogether. Which means that most likely all the missiles that they are firing upon or towards us will get shot down. Well, at least that's the idea. Now what I might do, once we start spotting any enemy ships there, we'll probably decide again to what to do. Oh, there was a bit smaller increment there, so it is entirely possible that they are now launching, or at least they may have spotted us with their deep space tracking station or something. Let's slow down a tiny bit here. We are still almost 400 million kilometers away from the planet. And the planet is moving away from us a tiny bit, although that's only in 5-day increments, so we might be able to reach there before it moves further again. So far we have no other signs of them other than the EM signature. And it is fairly large. Let me... Ooh. New allied contact. Oh, right, we can see some of the active sensors there. Fair enough. Now, hopefully this doesn't anger our allies too much. Let's actually have a quick look, though. Joseph Sora, we don't know too much about them. Jaegers is still allied, so there's that. But another thing that I wanted to check real quick is how big of a signature is our capital, for example, in terms of EM. Okay, it would be... What they have is about 40%, roughly speaking, what we have here in our capital, so it is notably smaller. But it's probably going to be about 500 million in population total. Right, let's center again. I'm gonna move in 1 hour increments here right now. Taking a bit slow. I haven't actually attacked a planet before, so this is gonna be a first time. Hopefully I can destroy their shipyards. If I can do that, then I can certainly triple their shipping and all that. Then that will give us a little bit more time to react. Now, one thing that I am curious about is how much fuel do we have left? Actually, we got quite a bit still. The Athenians are using a lot of fuel there, but there's not much I can do about that. We are getting closer and closer. Now, at some point we should be able to see their thermal... Oh, well, there we go. Population thermal signature, but that's from our allies, but that is 12,700. Oh, by the way, we should probably put on the events again. That might help. Right, so if we compare that to what we have on our capital, we've got 20,000, so yeah, there's still quite a difference. I mean, we have grown quite nicely, and they are on 75% difficulty, so they're not that strong in the grand scheme of things. But we should be spotting the enemy soon as well. Now, what I hope to do is get close enough so that they start shooting missiles if they do have missile BDCs, which frankly is rather likely. And then we'll just sit, assuming that we can shoot down all the missiles. If we can't, then we may need to pull back a bit further or something. Or maybe push closer so we can start shooting missiles up to at least to their shipyards or something like that. Hostile contact, it's only 9,000. Okay, so yeah, it's again about 40%, a bit more than that, but still. It's mostly in line with what we have with the EM signature as well. Still no sign of their shipping or any missiles or anything like that. We are getting rather close. I think I'm going to start using the 20-minute increments now. Soon we should be getting a lot of information about the enemy ships. Well, enemy ships and our ally ships as well. I'm not sure if the enemies have a huge amount of ships here. Probably some civilian. Presumably. Getting closer and closer. Right about now we should be getting a ton of new information. Okay, there's a lot of contacts here, so let's take the event log here. Right, new hostile ship. Becker class. 2 of them. And a lot of allied contacts. I mean, these are existing contacts already, it's just updating with the sizes. Then hostile contact of oh, Becker 3, okay, and on Migan 2, on Migan 1, Becker 2 and 1, hold on. Becker 3, then there's the Becker 4, okay, and the shipyard. So we spotted 1 shipyard so far. We also spotted some allied shipyards. Right. And at this point, how far are we? Still pretty far. So we can see the population over there. It's just, that's a lot of contact. And there's the Beckers. Okay, those are not very large. 16,000 tons. I think these might be some civilian ships, actually. Some colony ships, or maybe some smaller freighters. The Beggars and 1 Migans. I mean, the 1 Migans we already spotted a long time ago. So I think those are probably civilian ships. Probably, I could be mistaken. Well, let's get a little bit closer, see if we can find out more of these. Okay, no new information yet. Actually, contacts, can we... hostile only. There we go. That's making things a little bit simpler. The shipyard and some ships in there. Still fairly far away. Oh, new hostile class. Actually, now we can put on the events back on. Solomon class. Okay, and how big are they? 512 hull size. Okay, so that's fairly large. Let's move a little bit closer. Intelligence update. Solomon is capable of, okay, according to this, only 900, or about 1,000. That's potentially another civilian ship. Albeit a fairly large one. Let's have a quick look at the intelligence window now with the new updated stuff. So, 1 Migan. Well, actually, let's have a... It does have a strength 60, resolution 1. Oh. But the range is almost nothing. Well, not almost nothing, but still fairly low. But it does have active sensors, that much we know. The Beckers also have similar sensors, so they are probably some anti-missile sensors that they can see the missiles coming in. I'm not sure if they are civilian or not. We haven't seen them moving much, other than the Solomons now, and they don't have a huge speed. A large tonnage and small speed. We don't know the thermal though, so we don't know if they're moving at a lower speed than usual or something else. But we are taking this slow. Oh, new hostile ships. 2 more Solomons. They seem to be moving a lot of stuff away, so those might be just bigger freighters, I think. At least that seems like a reasonable assumption. I think soon we're gonna have to start taking even smaller increments. Tank 1 has completed order as well, that's fine by me. I'm just gonna take the 5-minute increments now. Just so that any missiles don't slip past. I mean, they shouldn't, but you never know if things go wrong. Something that I will probably start doing is once we get close enough, we'll start shooting down the ships at the orbit. Although we probably won't be using too much in terms of missiles. I'll try to reserve some of them, and then we'll try to destroy the shipyard complex, which seems to be enormous. 516,000 tons. I mean, I suppose they are rather large, aren't they? I don't remember the exact numbers, but that seems to be still fairly large shipyard. To be fair, it's probably multiple slipways, which makes it a lot larger. Now I wonder if we can spot more of the Solomons over here or not. I mean, they seem to be flying away. Not sure where exactly. Not that it necessarily matters. Right now, anyway. Just inching closer and closer. If they do have missile BDCs, then they probably will have... Well, I don't know. They might not have a huge range on them, quite frankly. So we might be able to get fairly close before they start shooting at us. I have also designed some new missile designs with a little bit better engines. which will make the size 3 and size 6 missiles go about 33,000 kilometers per second. And they will have a bit longer range as well, so it will make them a bit more useful. And fairly good at hitting targets, at least they should be able to hit anything at precursor speed or slower, but of course they'll probably have to be used against the invaders, which is most likely not going to be enough for them, but we'll see. I mean, I fully expect that I'll lose this all the fight against the invaders horribly, because I'm not very experienced fighting against them. And I have done a lot of mistakes on this run, so, you know. But as I've said before, at least in the comments, is that there's more of a series of how not to do things, and then when you still do them, how to fix them. It's been a learning process, for sure. We're still getting closer and closer. We don't really see much enemies in here. Once we get within 50 million kilometers, we'll start shooting some missiles. Oh, there's an... Oh, that's just some allied contacts. Okay. Resolution 20. Oh, okay. I wonder if they are actually getting angry at me that I'm flying this close. With active sensors on and all that. Oh, that's 30 seconds. I think they are now launching missiles at us. See if they are doing another one. There was a 30-second increment instead of 300, so that was a bit of a warning sign. Considering how slow their missiles are, we can probably get pretty far before they actually reach our anti-missile range. And frankly, it is possible that if they are using missiles against us, that our allies will then shoot them down. Maybe. It's not guaranteed. Okay, at this point we are already within 45 million kilometers, so let's start shooting some of their shipping here. So assign that target, and you're gonna assign actually probably the shipyard complex for the bigger missiles. And open fire, I suppose. Hold on, do we have shields on? I don't think we do. Well, now that should be fixed at least. Shoot is the keyword though. Right, so we'll open fire on that, we'll open fire on that. Actually, let's copy the targets. We'll just switch these to Becker according to the number of the spikes. And then open fire. We'll try to take down the shipyard as much as possible. And then this one. Sign. Open fire and open fire. Then we got 3 of the regular spikes here, which do have a decent amount of missiles, I suppose. Now the Solomons are pretty far away, but we can start shooting at them one Migans. We're not going to use the bigger missiles from the other spikes quite yet, just in case that we need to fire upon some bigger enemies. But we can assign that an open fire, and assign that an open fire. Let's take a 5-second increment here. Now it is entirely possible that the allies will shoot them down. And shields are recharging. The missile should be... They should be able to reach there without a problem. I don't think we'll be able to shoot down those quite yet. But this will also test if the enemy is... Actually, now that I think yeah, I'm just gonna select the fleet and ceasefire, because all of these have already shot their missiles, I think. I'm gonna ceasefire, just so that we don't need to look at the numbers there. Right, so we'll see if our allies are also allied to the enemies. 5-second increment over there. But they probably shot something. Most likely anti-missile missiles. We do get 1 point of shields every 30 seconds. Which of course means that the cruiser is actually the one that is the best defended. It did take some damage earlier when we were fighting a lot of the fights with this. There was some enemy... We were basically out of missiles already at that point in there, and the enemy was sending in their missile ships. So we had to send in the cruiser and some of the Athenians into private charge because we had already lost our fighters, so they were shooting a crap ton of anti-missile missiles at us. So of course the shields managed to take a majority of those hits that got through our point defense, because it was only 3 Athenians with their point defense, which was doing a pretty good job, but they were shooting like 60 to 90 missiles per salvo, so it was a bit of a rough. But we did manage to beat them. With 2 of the Athenians and the cruiser took a little bit damage, but then didn't get further than 2 layers of armor at any of the ships before we destroyed them. But now we are going to have to wait a little bit before we actually get any hits there. And it is entirely possible that they've shot some anti-missile missiles. So it's not guaranteed that our missiles even reach the enemy. Okay, the shields are now full. It's only 10 points of shield, so it's not that much. But let's see, if we could destroy that shipyard and any shipping here. I mean, I think these are civilian shipping. I could be mistaken. But considering the sizes and speed, they seem more like civilian ships. Now, to be fair, we've got quite a few missiles in here, flying towards the enemy. But if they do have anti-missile missiles already... Well, no, they wouldn't be able to see the missiles from that far. So they may have shot their own missiles, but that's about it, I think. There's no way that they can spot a missile from 40 million kilometers away. Especially considering that these are the smallest detectable things. So I suppose I'm going to check this real quick. I know that this is delaying the actual fire real quick, but missile engines, can you... No, never mind, you can't reduce the thermals, so yeah, these are the smallest thing that you can spot. I mean, it would increase the cost of the missile engine quite a bit, and they're still very small, so reducing the thermal signature would be kind of a waste, really. But I had to check. Now, to be fair, intelligent update. Target cross section of. Let's have a look. Contacts. All contacts. Okay, it is in there, just not. Okay, let's keep on going. I know that we are technically out of time already, but I want to see how or what happens to these missiles. Will we hit the target or not? And what happens afterwards? I don't think the missiles that are going to hit the civilian ships, or presumably civilian ships, are going to do much in terms of destroying the ships, but they might damage them a little bit. Maybe destroy some engines and so forth. It's mostly poking the Hornet's net here, really. See if they are actually sending or shooting missiles our way, but there hasn't been any more than that one section where they were, or there was a slower increment. So either they're shooting every 30 seconds, which I don't think is going to happen, or they haven't shot anything more than one salvo at us, which probably won't be arriving quite yet, because their missiles are about half the speed that ours are, or these particular ones are, and these aren't even the fastest one that I could have. Well, that was a 10-second increment, so they might have spotted missiles now, maybe. That was another 15 seconds. So presumably there are a lot of missiles coming in. The question is, are there anti-missile missiles or missiles? Oh, that's another 5-second increment. It's actually... no, we can't actually focus on that. Never mind. We should be reaching the orbit rather soon. Almost there. Ooh. Ho, ho, ho. Seems like we're hit. Magazine explosion detected. Oh, some of them were actually missile ships. I'm not sure if they are shooting at us yet. But let's put down the event log here, because we did destroy one of them. Presumably with a lucky hit or something like that. If we have a quick look at the information here. Okay, salvo intercepted target. Target speed 0, so we hit strength of armor at least 2. A lot of hits. Then over here, a lot of hit, and Becker also has strength of at least 2. A lot of hits. Okay, then over here at Becker 3, we actually managed to penetrate the armor a little bit. On Magen 1, no penetration of the armor. And over here, Becker 2, we also penetrated armor and we destroyed it. Oh right, that was the magazine that we probably destroyed, but it's not reporting that in here. Secondary magazine explosion strength 21 detected 7 times. Oh. So there might be more than one that are very badly hurt right now. But anyway, with that, we unfortunately need to end the episode here. So if you enjoyed this, please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Also check out the links down below in the description. But other than that, thank you very much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.